welcome to the next episode of KapVista Klips. Today, I'm excited to talk to Holly and Paul from Organic Genetics about what they're doing in the biotech cannabis industry. Welcome, guys. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks so much for having us.
Thank you.
Really excited to join you today.
That's cool. You guys are based in Auckland. How's the market in New Zealand at the moment?
Well, I guess it's slowly progressing. The industry that we're in has definitely been a slow burn over here, but they're making some really good headway at the moment. And Helios has finally got some products available to the market, which is finally opening up some more doors for the industry for sure.
Awesome. So we'll get into it, and I really want to understand what your story is. How did you get to this point, and what is your story leading up to founding this company? What's your backgrounds, your history, that sort of thing?
Well, my background's in marketing. I've been in marketing and design since university, so many years now. But basically, we came together to start Organic Genetics in 2019. And that was really just at the beginning of the industry here in New Zealand. We've both got a lot of family and also friends who suffer, from lots of different things that have been heavily relying on opioids for a very long time. Paul, being from LA, he has pretty much all of, I think, his friends and family in the industry over there. And they told us about, the opportunity that they had over there to start cultivation facilities and to get into the industry. And it really sparked our interest. Back in 2019.
Awesome.
Paul,
you want to go ahead?
Look, I've been in the corporate telecommunications sector for the last 18 years. And I still have a telecommunications company right now. Maybe around 2 years ago, a lot of people have been saying, about the cannabis market here in New Zealand. And we were fortunate enough to be at the right time in the right spot. And, we sort of had a discussion with Holly and I and said, this is something that we have been passionate about and something that we've been always trying to, get into if the market ever arose here in New Zealand. And, the next thing you knew, we talked about, discussed it, and we applied and went through a very lengthy process to get all the licensing applications done. It was a lot of pages, a lot of words that we had to put together to submit, and it pretty much worked out in the end.
Yeah, it was a great learning curve as well at the beginning, because to submit the the application for the licensing, I think it was around 65 pages that we had to develop, and it was amazing learning curve and really got us immersed in the industry, and just made us even more passionate about it.
As soon as we applied, we we knew the understanding of developing a medical cannabis company wouldn't be easy. Mm-hmm. And fortunate enough, growing up in Los Angeles in high school and university, everybody that I pretty much know, whether they mastered in accountancy or, went into legal and law firms and stuff like that, they funneled into the cannabis trade, which made it a lot easier for us to maneuver through certain obstacles and challenges in this space. Mm-hmm. So from the outset, we knew that assembling, a championship team, as you would call it, would be very prominent, especially in a country that's developing in this space. It would give us a lot of leverage. Especially with, one of the key factors of a cannabis cultivation is, your genetic pool, right? Mm-hmm. And coming up with good genetics. And we had access to so many different companies that had so many dominant genetics in their genetic pool in the Southern California region. So, it made the process a little bit easier for us to make that decision.
Okay. Awesome. So you've come from different fields and you're bringing that expertise into the medicinal cannabis space, and then in the broader sense of the word, the biotech space. So where do you think that your skills can really excel the company?
Yeah, I think, and one thing about, people being in, whether it's a corporate or SME market, it's really having specialists in the different areas of your business. For us, we knew that this was a very colossus business. There's a lot of different facets in a commercial cultivation facility, in a manufacturing facility, in a supply facility. And that was something that, we knew that we had to have underneath our umbrella, meaning that we are pretty much the only vertically integrated company here in New Zealand where we're going to be doing seed to sale.
Okay.
So we take everything from commercial cultivating to manufacturing, extractions, oils, into medication and tinctures. You name it. There's probably over 1,000 different products that people can come up with.
Mm-hmm.
And also being in a premium country like New Zealand, our future goals, of course, is to, export our cannabis, medical cannabis to different countries. And, New Zealand has a really good reputation on premium products. It's really well known for, certain products that are produced here in New Zealand.
Okay.
And I think, just like the team is so important. People think that, you can build a cultivation facility with just, training and stuff, but you really do need experts in the field who have had, many years experience under their belt. And, one of Paul's, amazing strengths is bringing together people and creating that dream team. And he's definitely done it here with organic genetics. And then, the background for me for marketing, just really a lot of what we will be doing, because there's not a lot of advertising that you can do in this space, especially here in New Zealand at the moment, is just brand building and building our audience and building, loyal brand followers, which we do through social media.
Yeah. One thing that I've noticed in this space is that the majority of the companies who are operating in this space come from a science biotech aspect, and it takes a long time for them, a long time and a lot of money before they get to that commercialization, that marketing aspect. So if you flip it on its head and you come from a marketing aspect first with putting the right team around you, you're able to understand who your clients are, understand what their needs are, and build the brand, the product, and the channels along those lines, and filling in the product line along the way. So it's a different approach that you don't see a lot of the times, and it probably will streamline your pathway to success.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, what we've noticed is, a lot of people sell tomatoes, but supplying tomatoes to a whole country is a different story altogether.
Yeah.
And for us, if you speak to anybody in the cannabis industry that have been there for the last, 10, 15 years, they're always evolving, and they're always constantly learning on different ways to grow, to make it more natural, to make it more organic, and pesticide free and so forth. So there's a lot that goes into it. And that's one of the key things that we do have. And we've, with the partners that we do have, they're not just partners, they're also equity holders of organic genetics. And we have contractual arrangements that they will be flying out to this country. And, it is something that they have to be hands-on. You can't do it over a Zoom call.
Yeah.
They would have to be present. And also our team over here would then go to their facilities in Los Angeles and get trained up over there, in the whole deal of our proposition.
But I think everyone on the team is just extremely passionate about medicinal cannabis and its properties and how it can help, and everyone's just so fascinated as well. And so I think that's a really good building block as well, having a team that actually is very immersed in the industry, very passionate about the industry, and just wants to keep pushing forward to develop the best products for the patients, the most user-friendly products. And
for people who are not aware about this part of the world, that New Zealand is the leader in the APAC region in terms of pushing out medical marijuana and licensing and legalization. Australia has just, I think, 6 months ago, started to give out research licenses only, not commercial sales, not retail, anything like that. So we're still a long way away from New Zealand, and then Asia is still not even. I don't think it's even on the cards as yet. So New Zealand is at the forefront of this region. And so, do you want to tell me about the structure? You know, in terms of the New Zealand, what's the tie to the US? I know the expertise is there, but is it that your focus market? Are you focusing on the APAC region? What's your focus from day one? Is it just New Zealand? What's that look like?
Our focus primarily would be New Zealand, of course. The ties of Los Angeles was, like we said, in the very outset of organic genetics, we knew that we needed to find specialists in them areas. So we wanted to partner up and also get involved, not just by, as a business relationship, but we wanted them to invest into organic genetics so we can, experience this journey together. So the partners that we do have and we have, engaged, they have all become equity holders of organic genetics. And we thought that was a very important factor for us because it lasts a lot longer, we felt. And,
it's a long-term thing for us.
Yeah. So. And I'm not sure if you're aware that Los Angeles County has been medicinally approved since 1996. So these guys that have been in the trade over there have been doing it for a long, long time. And it's like, we're learning from professors and teachers instead of students. And I thought that, it was a very important factor if we were going to create that kind of opportunity here in New Zealand to utilize the relationships and, that we have in Los Angeles. And from America, we would be bringing our genetic pool from there and also Canada too. And then to bring that genetics here to New Zealand and to operate that over here.
Awesome. So help me understand the solution. You said it's a vertically integrated business. So you're bringing the expertise from the US into New Zealand, focusing on the New Zealand market. Your from plant to product is all done in-house. But what's the distribution? Is it just the New Zealand market? Are you distributing through to Australia? What does the licensing look like there as well?
So I mean, our overall goal is to cultivate premium craft cannabis indoors, high THC cultivars, and that is for the local market and also international export as well. Obviously, primarily at the beginning, we're just focusing on the premium craft cannabis flower and developing it there into medicines, tinctures, dried flower for vape. That kind of thing. But then, definitely exporting to Europe will be one of the first countries that we export to. There's actually a cannabis agency here in New Zealand that works collectively together, and they're looking to go in together as a collective group into Europe. And then also, obviously, Asia will be something we will look to in the future. Yeah. We have some amazing connections to different people through that channel. But I think, primarily New Zealand, Australia, and then Europe.
Okay.
There's a huge advantage of us being here in New Zealand also because New Zealand runs underneath the EU GMP guidelines. And I'm not sure a lot of people are not aware of this, but, in America, they do not have any EU or GMP facilities. Because they were not taken into account that they would be selling internationally because America is so big, they sell just within America. So now cannabis organizations, because they're losing out on, on international sales because their facilities don't meet up to the requirements. These are things that they're putting into practice right now. So
New Zealand and Australia, I think, is onto it. But it gives us huge potential to get into those markets, before some of the big players coming out of the US because they don't have the capability with their GMP certification to do that. So New Zealand's made really high standards, some of the highest in the world. And so when we do go to export, it will be, really well received.
Yeah.
Awesome. So tell me a bit about, some of the milestones you've achieved. So you've been in this space for a while now. What's some of the milestones, some of the notable accomplishments? Getting the license is not easy. So you've ticked the early boxes, but where's it going to from here?
Yeah, so I mean, quite in the early stages, we tick the licensing boxes. We've still got our site audit, our locations. We've got our amazing partnership with our land up north in New Zealand, in Kaitaia. We've got that secured on a 99-year ground lease, and that will be for our premium outdoor crops for CBD. We also secured our 2,800 square meter facility, which will be housing our premium indoor craft cannabis. We've got our amazing dream team ready to start at any point in time.
The Kaitaia land that we have is 50 hectares, around 122 acres of flat land that we can pretty much grow tomorrow if we wanted to. We also engaged a company by the name of IX Biopharmaceuticals. Their actual product is in Australia. They won CBD product of last year. The Australian Awards for CBD products. And like I said, our network in America happened to support them with raw ingredients, which that's how we got introduced. They came out with the world's first wafer patented product that it's a sublingual product that you put underneath your tongue. It's CBD, of course, so no THC at all.
Really fast, amazing delivery into the system.
Yeah, and it helps a lot of elderly and also children, certain patients with certain ailments. And we've become an exclusive reseller of that product here in New Zealand. Okay. So we're gonna, as these are a couple of things that we're actually putting into practice at the moment in regards to getting some CBD products assessed in the interim. Mm-hmm. There was something that you asked about our distribution. Organic Genetics has somewhat of an advantage. We have partnerships with a company by the name of ANZ Farmer. Some of our equity holders of Organic Genetics, they own around 40 pharmacies currently. Yeah. And they have a distribution company that's selling to 1,108 pharmacies currently. Wow. They sit on different boards of different health groups, palliative health groups, rest homes, and they service around 400 to 500 GPs. Now, it's not that much compared to Australia, but in New Zealand, 500 GPs is pretty high. Mm-hmm. And so, it's all about education and trying to get this, educating these GPs on how to prescribe. But once again, that is a process in itself. So we do have contractual arrangements with our distribution company for these pharmacies and for the GPs and so forth. So we already have a channel of distribution.
So you've got the distribution channel, you've got a product that you are licensed to resell to build up your brand reputation, and then you are building your own. So there's a multi-layered approach to this if you want an early stage startup that is mitigating the risk and trying to build the brand, generate revenue while cultivating and growing your own product. So from an investor's point of view, it's not the traditional risks associated with an early stage company may be somewhat alleviated because you do have a number of other channels and a number of other pathways there, which all come under the one banner, which is an exciting concept, and it's different from what other people see.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and organic genetic imports is what we're working on a lot at the moment until we get our funding for our cultivation facility. And the products that we are deciding to bring in aren't just, run-of-the-mill regular products. These are products that could sit alongside our product suite once it's developed as well. They are more unique products, like Paul mentioned. the IX Biopharma product is a patented product. It's not something that we would reproduce, so can easily sit alongside our product suite and offer something different for our customers.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so we've gone through, you know, what the industry looks like, and I think you're in a perfect spot in terms of the Pacific, because New Zealand is at the forefront, and Australia will follow suit, in my opinion, quite quickly, you know, given that Europe is already legalizing it, the US has legalized it for a number of years now, and the benefits in terms of, you know, revenue and you know, and health benefits have been proven now. So I think Australia will be on the way. So Australia is another market you can tap into, but then Asia will follow shortly. But Europe is a big market, and where we are located in this part of the world is a ripe environment for outdoor growing, outdoor crops, and producers in terms of crops, in terms of fruit, vegetables, and now marijuana produces a higher quality product. So for sure, I think you're in the right space. So what we'll touch on is the raise. You know, how much are you raising? What's it being used for? And what's the offer?
Yeah, so we're raising 10 million. Primarily, majority, around 7-8 million is for our indoor facility, which will be all EU GMP certified, GMP certified, sorry, and also our manufacturing laboratory that will be built in that facility. So primarily, that's what the raise is for. And the offer is, we've been valued, of course, at 30 million currently, and that's involved with a lot of different reasoning because of our partnerships that we have, distribution and so forth. Sales. Yeah, I mean, just to tap into one of the companies that we have, which is called Kind Future. They're the home office for Weed Maps, and Weed Maps have just recently become onto the NASDAQ as the biggest tech cannabis company in the world. They've been valued around $1.5 billion. Wow. So they have Weed Maps is a database for all cannabis users, cannabis businesses, approximately around 10 million users. So all these attributes for our evaluation, but we are you know, willing to give up equity for this raise, of course. Okay.
Perfect. Yeah. Now, you touched on the indoor facility and the manufacturing side of things. What does that look like? Is there a certain level of production that you're looking to hit? And then how does that generate into the commercial figures? Because it'll give us a good idea on your projections in terms of the raise and how that reflects.
Well, I haven't got the numbers on me now, so we'll have to, if anyone needs specific information, we're happy to share that.
That's all right. But yeah. In comparison, you know, because I know that this space is highly profitable and it's been proven, the model's been proven. So with this raise and the production facility you're building, do you have a rough timeline on, you know, when it will get to commercialization and revenue in the door from your own products?
I mean, we were hoping to complete our raise by within the next couple of months, of course, and the whole build out process would approximately take anywhere from 8 to 12 months to fully build out. Yeah. Thereafter, we would be running at 50% capacity for the first 6 months, and then full capacity, 100% capacity after 12 months. So we're looking around 2024 would be running at full operations and full capacity.
Yeah. And our primary focus would be on the indoor facility, which is the high THC premium craft cannabis. That's where a lot of the profit would come from. And then thereafter, we would develop our outdoor facility in Kaitaia with the high level CBD crops.
Okay, so it's a 24-month process to get to full capacity, but at that point, your company is profitable at that stage. Yes. And then along along the 24 months, you also have the other product lines that you're licensing. So that makes it a quite an attractive offer and reduces that risk, which I mentioned before.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, that's great. I like the space you're in. I mean, as I said, I've done some research into this, into the space. It is an interesting one from a business point of view, but also from a health and user point of view. There's a lot of proven studies. So I think this, where we're getting to now is that it will be legalized across the board, and it will be just a common, everyday product, like your paracetamols and your aspirins and things like that. It will be a common product, and it will be very much mainstream. So considering where you are eventually it'll get there. So considering where you are in the region, I think you're poised to be successful. But thanks for jumping on. It's great to hear about what you're doing. I'm excited to see where it goes, and the partnerships that you put in place are quite exciting.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, we're very excited about the future for organic genetics. We've been working on this for a few years now, and we're still as passionate about the industry as we were when we started, probably more, I would say. And there's so much to learn, and you have to continue to evolve, especially with all the regulations and the changes that they're making, because the government is just learning alongside us. They're still learning the industry and the processes as well. So but it's a very exciting industry, and we're really happy to be a part of it.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thanks for that, guys. I'll leave it at that. Anybody who's watching this video and wants to know more, we'll put the details below, and my team can introduce you to Holly and Paul. But thank you very much, and it's great to chat to you.
Thank you very much.
Lovely
Appreciate
to chat
your time.
too. Thank you.